Okay, let's dive into this beautiful and frankly pretty surreal story about life, death, and what it really means to remember. It's a tale that starts with the most ordinary problems and spirals into a quest to save reality itself. So the story kicks off with this absolutely deadpan line from a cat. Yeah, a cat. This one sentence just plunges us right into this world where the cosmic and the completely mundane are the exact same thing. A sour saucer of milk has just as much weight as a person's death. And this is where we meet our hero, Eustacia Olgaya. Her ordinary world has just become, well, pretty unsettled. And it's not just that she's recently died. The bigger problem is that her spoons are literally packing up and leaving her in the middle of the night.
And get this, she's 87 years old, so when she finds out she's dead, she doesn't panic. She faces it with the kind of pragmatism you only get from someone who has seen it all. Honestly, she's more concerned about buying eggs than about any kind of grand metaphysical crisis.
She keeps this daily inventory of her belongings, and it's just fascinating. It reveals a life where objects have their own personalities. Spoons can just leave, her books just reproduce on their own, and the mirror, well, it shows another world entirely. It's how the story grounds its magic in the most everyday, normal kind of accounting.
As Eustacia's finding out, being dead isn't this dramatic, soul-changing event we all imagine. There are no trumpets, no apocalypse. Instead, it's basically just an administrative inconvenience. There's paperwork, and you've still got the same talking cat demanding you get it some fresh milk.
But her quiet, posthumous life is about to get interrupted. A call to adventure is coming, and it's from the one place she hasn't set foot in for 36 years, her basement.
A strange, bone-deep music starts rising up from the basement, and then she hears this impossible message. It's a voice made of friction and density. You know, the kind of voice an object might have if it could speak. So she finally goes down there, into a space that doesn't even feel like her basement anymore. It's something vast and ancient. And that's where she meets her mentor, this strange, tall figure with the head of a hare, who's about to reveal the true, cosmic nature of her quest.
And this is where the hare explains the real stakes of Eustacia's journey. See, it's not just about her. It's about the very fabric of the world, which, it turns out, is starting to unravel.
The hare tells her about the central problem, a modern phenomenon he calls the bright noise. Just think about it. It's the constant chatter of our world. The screens, the notifications, the endless stream of info that leaves zero room for silence, no space for real thought or memory. And this noise, it sets off a kind of terrible chain reaction. It drowns out the memories of the dead, who are the anchors of meaning for the world. So when the dead are forgotten, the world itself starts to unravel. It becomes like a sentence that has no nouns. The hare gives Eustacia this whole new philosophy on death. He says it's not an end. It's a clarification. It's a way of seeing things as they really are without all the illusions. So her death isn't a handicap. It's actually her main qualification for the job she has to do.
To solve this huge problem, Eustacia has to go on a journey. But not through space. Nope, she has to travel through the silences and the forgotten moments of her own life.
She has to travel through these metaphorical landscapes of memory called the pauses. These are the gaps, the moments between breaths, the silences between words, the space between actions. These are the very places where the dead live, and the very places the bright noise is trying to seal shut.
Now, for her journey, she doesn't get a sword or a shield. Instead, she gathers 7 sacred instruments: a stone, a feather, teeth, a key. It's this really beautiful reminder that the most powerful tools are often the most ordinary, mundane things, including, of course, her perpetually unimpressed cat, Pelusa.
But this journey isn't some simple trip down memory lane. It forces Eustacia to confront the most painful moments of her past, turning memory itself into a landscape that she has to navigate and ultimately heal.
For instance, she has to travel through the absolute cold and darkness of her first big betrayal. It's a wound she buried decades ago, but she has to face it to continue her quest. And in doing so, she learns that forgiveness isn't just for the other person, it's for herself. And in the pause of forgiveness, she has this huge breakthrough. She learns to see her own life not as just a collection of wounds, but as a story of survival. She's like her mother's old cast-iron pot. Sure, it's dented, but it's been to war, and it came back. All of this brings us to the ultimate purpose of her quest, and it's nothing less than saving the very texture and substance of reality itself.
So that Marrow Whistle, it doesn't just summon the dead, it reminds them. It reminds them of the concrete details, the taste of a mango, the smell of an onion, the feel of a hand. You know, the nouns of the world, the specific things that give life its texture and meaning.
And this is why it all matters so much. Without these specific memories, these nouns, the world just becomes pure structure. It's like a sentence without any nouns. It signifies nothing. What a powerful metaphor for how we lose touch with what's real when we're just overwhelmed by noise.
And all of that leaves us with a final thought, right? Eustacia's entire quest is about saving the small, sacred, ordinary things, the nouns of her life. And it's a powerful reminder for us to pay attention to our own. In our own lives, with so much bright noise all around, what are the crucial details, the memories, the nouns that we're in danger of letting slip away?